According to an article in The Guardian, on TikTok, voluntary or intentional celibacy has become a trend. The celibacy hashtag has had more than 195 million views, with those who practice it claiming it has improved their focus, mental health, and energy. But do we really understand what celibacy actually means? The true definition versus what modern society has you believe it is.
Toxic. Love, love. Sip of whiskey. Love, love. Indeed. Let's talk about it. We ain't sipping no tea, sipping no whiskey. No, we don't make love, but we fuck when we get tipsy. We ain't got no shame in our game. Ain't do nothing wrong, cause this for the ground.
All right, guys, so this evening, I have a special guest with me in the studio, Miss Brandy Flynn.
Hi.
I ain't even asked you if you want me to put your whole government out there like this.
That's fine. They see my face, so they know who it is.
Well, Miss Brandy is in the house, and the Sex.Love.Whiskey den.
Oh.
Okay. And, of course, y'all know I let y'all know what I'm sipping on every episode. And this episode, as you can see, I'm sipping on the traditional Jack Daniel's Basic number 7. You know, it's really good. Girl, it does it. We can do a thumbs up.
Okay.
I had to learn it myself.
I was wondering.
But just the regular Jack Daniel's number 7, because it pairs well when you make a mixed drink. And yeah, I know, I made a mixed drink. I'm not sipping straight. I got company. But we made a whiskey mule. It's really, really good.
It is. It is. I'm trying not to drink it all up.
We got refill now. It's all good. So today I made a whiskey mule with the Jack Daniel's number 7. The reason I like Jack Daniel's number 7 is because it's not the bottom of the barrel whiskey where it's too strong and it's overpowering, where you just taste alcohol and you don't taste any type of flavor. But it's not at the top end where you're spending $40 or $50 a bottle, so it's okay to mix. So this is my preference for mixing a good mixed drink. And again, we made a whiskey mule. And for those of you who want to learn how to make a whiskey mule, check out social media, IG and TikTok. For that video, I give y'all step-by-step instructions. But let me go on and sip it real quick because it is really good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So the whiskey mule, it's got a lot of different things in it.
Yeah.
But it gives it a really good profile. It doesn't take away from the whiskey. It's not sweet because I do not like sweet mixed drinks, so it's not sweet. You still taste the flavors of the good old Jack Daniel's coming through, that whiskey and the barrels and that oak taste, that natural, taste comes through, earthy.
Yeah. And I like how I taste it at the end. It's like, oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's my little secret with social media.
Yes, see.
My secret. So you don't taste the liquor to the end. Now it'll get you fucked up, but that's a good mixture.
Sure.
All right, guys, let's get into it. So, guys, I'm excited to be here again on Sex.Love.Whiskey Season 3. This is episode 2 of No Sex on Purpose. Exploring the idea, the concept of modern celibacy. Now, before we get deep into our discussion, I just want to give y'all a couple of facts, right? I want to give us a baseline for our conversation, and so y'all on the same wavelength that we on, and interesting facts, because I found out some things and I ain't know, and they must be talking about this new generation, baby, because it ain't me. Let's just get that out there. But a little information. So let's start with the actual definition of celibacy.
Right.
Because a lot of people, look, let me back up. Miss Brandy Flynn is the therapist. So this is very appropriate for
It is.
topic that I have a therapist here with me. Now she also gonna keep it real.
I am. I'm gonna keep it real.
Past seasons, she been on the show. She is not new to Sex.Love.Whiskey.
I am not.
So she gonna keep it real.
I am.
But it's appropriate.
Yes.
All right. So a lot of people get confused on what the word celibacy actually means. Right?
They do.
And so let's jump into that real quick. The Oxford Dictionary definition of celibacy is the state of abstaining from marriage and sexual relations. Let's run that back. So all y'all out here but claiming to be celibate, so your ass ain't getting married ever in life, and you're never gonna have sex ever in life.
Oh.
From this moment forward.
So basically, like, we're monks and priests and nuns because they never get married.
Correct.
Oh.
That's the technical definition of celibacy.
Wow. So makes me, I ain't even think that.
Baby, I'm gonna need y'all to go run and change y'all statuses real quick from celibate to abstinent, because that is an important word in the definition. The state of abstaining from marriage and sexual relations. That is the traditional definition of celibacy, right? And we all know that people don't always go by the traditional definition, but we gonna go by it today.
Right. Yeah, that's good to know.
Right? So abstinence is what we're really gonna be talking about.
Right.
I'm gonna use the word celibacy just because it sounds good. And that's what y'all use.
But no, I think you should use the word because we want to educate the people correctly.
The therapist said it, so it shall be done.
Yeah. But I will say that I know that people say celibacy is like they're abstaining from sex until they get married. Which I think people still misuse celibacy and abstaining. You know, because you got people that's abstaining and just like, you know what, I'm taking a break.
Right.
From sex, maybe 6 months. You know, people give up abstaining for sex for 40 days during Lent.
Right.
You know, or, you know, fasting or whatever like that. So, or, you know, a certain time limit. So, yeah.
So, in other words, if y'all plan on having sex, then you abstain, baby. You're not celibate.
Right. You're not being celibate. And when people say that I was celibate for 2 years, and I'd be like, no, you was abstinent.
Right.
For 2 years, like you didn't make a vow to God. And that's the thing with celibacy. It's a religious or a spiritual aspect that you're making with God. You didn't tell God that I'm not gonna have sex for 2 years, then I'm gonna start dropping like it's low.
Right. I
don't know what God you serve.
And sometimes y'all don't make this decision on your own. Don't nobody want to fuck you, so it be absent.
But so I'm gonna say this. So there's also I just ain't got none. And sometimes that's okay. You know, sometimes you got some people just don't want to screw you. And then sometimes you just like, it just ain't happened. So, yeah.
True story. So abstinence is the fact or practice of restraining oneself from indulging in something. Now that's the definition. And I think that's what you guys are talking about. What most people are talking about. They're not talking about this vow. They're not talking about like not having sex ever in life, and not getting married. So when I was doing my research, I didn't know that celibacy, the actual definition of it, involved marriage. I thought it was just celibate from sex, but the actual definition is abstaining from marriage and abstaining from sex, which makes sense because it's a religious thing.
Right.
It's mostly, like you said, a spiritual thing. So in reality, you guys are abstaining. Right.
Yeah.
The practice of restraining oneself from indulging in something. Keyword being indulging, right? So you can be abstinent from chocolate.
Yeah.
You
can restrain yourself. Yeah.
From alcohol. You can, I can't. And you can be abstinent from sugar.
Right.
You can be abstinent from McDonald's fries. Like you can be abstinent from a whole lot of different things. And I think that people put the word celibacy in there because they think that
it makes them feel better. Yeah. Yeah, and to them it sounds better, but that's not what it
Correct.
it is.
That's not the definition. So now that we have learned that word, we're going to use it correctly. We are going to talk about abstinence by its true definition and not actual celibacy. All right, y'all with me? Stay with me. All right. So the National Survey of Sexual Health and Behavior in the U.S. found that between 2009 and 2018, there was a rise in adolescents reporting no sexual activity, partnered and alone. Right?
And alone?
Not girl. Sit up. Ain't that the truth? From 28.8% to 44.2% of young men. And from 49.5% to 74% of young women.
You know what? I can.
Girl, no. Anyway, in one interview, the study's authors raised several possible contributing factors, including gaming and social media taking time and precedence, more awareness of asexuality as an identity, feature face, a decline in alcohol use, an increase in rough sex practices such as choking may be frightening or off-putting to many, and lower your income.
But you don't have to. Choking is not it doesn't have to be the sexual act. That's not.
It doesn't have to be, but I think what they're saying, and it goes back to one of my other episodes in season 2, y'all. BDSM, look it up. Now, it is on the rise where people are practicing it.
Yeah. Okay.
People are specifically men are getting into rougher sex.
Okay, I see it.
So it's the women, younger girls are afraid of that, and no, I ain't trying to have
I see that. Yeah.
and things of that nature. So they're abstaining more because it's scary for them.
I can see that. Especially if you haven't been doing it or if you're not doing it a lot. So if that's what you think your experience is going to be, then yeah, I don't want that. Yeah, so I can get that.
Yeah, right. And according to the General Social Survey, about 23% of American adults were celibate in 2021. We're gonna change that word and say abstain.
Yeah.
So they were abstinent in 2021, which is about 1 in 4 people.
Okay.
Now, I found that to be crazy. And this is adults. This is the previous statement was talking about adolescents, right? Which I understand because, they're not very well versed in the world of sexual behavior. So a lot of them are missing it because they're not getting any good. It's just a regular, teenage hormones. So I wouldn't miss that either.
All right.
I'm lying, I miss it. But you get what I'm saying. I get versed in the world of sexual pleasure. But this right here is talking about adults. Adults. 23% of American adults. That's 1 in 4 people. Girl, I do not touch and agree with that. But anyway, among 21 to 30-year-old males, abstinence rose significantly between 2008 and 2020, from 14.4% to 23.5%, an increase of nearly 2/3. Among females of the same age, abstinence also rose, though by less, right?
Okay.
So rising from 12.8% to 16.5%.
Okay, so that's 21 to 30-year-olds.
21 to 30-year-olds. That's your prime time.
Especially for men. That's when you be like a rabbit.
You're trying to procreate.
Yeah.
That's it.
Or trying to do something.
Yeah. That's that, Oh, and let me clarify, y'all. If you are practicing We're not gonna say celibate because that's not true.
Yeah.
If you are practicing abstinence, do you? I don't have any problem with somebody practicing abstinence. I'm saying that is not me.
All right.
That's not for me. But those of you who are or interested in or were thinking about it, I'm just trying to give y'all some perspective.
All right.
Right.
So I have something to share with you.
Share that. Well, I said.
I am one of the few people that has not been partaking in sex.
I think girl.
She didn't know this. She didn't know this. So let me explain. So it wasn't that I'm like, oh, I'm taking a vow. I'm not gonna have sex with nobody until whatever. It was basically that I'm the type of person in a certain age, like everybody just can't get it. So for a while, I was I don't even want to say abstinence because I didn't take it. It just happened.
It is.
It is what it is. I didn't say, you know what, I'm abstaining. It's just something that happened. So to keep your face straight, I'm not gonna say how long. So
Guarantee your truth.
okay. So I'm gonna tell my truth.
I'm a precept.
So it was some years.
Some.
It was some years.
Some.
Some.
Couple, not a few, but some.
It was 4. So, but then I had finally got some.
Girl, hold on. Let's stop right there. Because I've always wanted to talk to somebody that's at the beat way I script it out. I'm always for when you say
So she didn't know this. She did, and I was when I realized what it was going to be, I was just like, I'm gonna share. And this is something that I never really shared, and I'm not ashamed of it. Now, don't give me. So I'm not. I'm not waiting to marriage. Yeah, I'm not. I will say that I do want to be in a relationship because I just because of past relationships, and I'm just like, and if I'm with you, I'm with you. Right. So it was 4 years. I'm not gonna lie. And then somebody from my past circulated, and I knew what they were working with. I knew, like, because you know, if you've been without for so long, and then you give it somebody, and if it's not good, you gonna be like, well, I could have stayed. Well, I knew that this person. I hope they ain't watching it, and they knowing them, they probably would because they see stuff with me. So I let them swing the block, and when I was like, oh, I still got it. It's good, but and I'll be transparent. So when I had got diagnosed with thyroid cancer, that kind of stopped everything. So sex was the last thing that was on my mind. Right. And that person that came back, I mean, they wasn't my man. Right. But you know, when they from my past, they're from the past for a reason. For me. And I had to remember that's why they in your past, you know. So time went on, and it just, I don't know, I'm not gonna say it wasn't important, but it's like I just didn't want to be like, hey, you want to sleep with me, or you? I have not met any. Honestly, I'm gonna be real honest with you. I haven't met anybody that I'm like, hey, you know what?
That's worth giving it up to.
Ah, fuck you. I haven't. So it's not like, hey, because there have been times where I tried to, and I'm glad that they missed the mark. Mm. But yeah, so like if I get in a relationship, because I do want to be in a relationship, I'm not abstaining from, you know, oh, I'm waiting till I get married. No, like, you know, I would like to, but I'm not, because it's who I am, and I just don't want anybody just to say, yeah, I had her, yeah, no.
Not into casual stuff.
Exactly. Right. And don't get me wrong, I've had and I call it my Sex in the City phase. Okay. I had my Sex in the City phase.
Call it my hoe phase.
She called it that. I call it my Sex in the City phase. But even I was real particular about who partake in that. So I like it when I could go in a room and men ain't just like, yeah, I fucked her. Like, ain't too many folks can say that, and I like that. But if I was to meet somebody, it's just like, I
feel you.
Yeah. So, I mean.
And I appreciate you sharing.
Yeah. She didn't, I was like, let me share.
Said this was not planned, Leah did not know, okay? But I'm glad that you did share. And like that'll give people perspective as well. Right. Because we'll talk about that. Like it's different reasons that people I'm saying it's like it's not just saying this big vow or this big movement of because I'm just gonna make this choice and I'm gonna stand on it because it's a fad or you know what I'm saying. But that's really what these statistics are about. Right. It's about like this whole social media movement of being celibate.
And let me say this, because I've been so busy with how my life is, a lot of times
you don't miss it.
I don't miss it. I mean, now I do take care of myself. Like I don't, like, okay, girl, let me, sometimes I'll be like, you know what? I ain't had a conversation with you. So let me holler at you. Let me give you some time to yourself. But yeah, but I just be so, I'm not, oh my God, I gotta get some dick. I got like a fiend. Like, no, but if I had somebody in my life, like if I got a boyfriend, we fucking. Like it ain't no 90 days or whatever like that. Like, it's just niggas have just been fucking up. Like, nigga, y'all would have fucked you, but you.
Right. Yeah. So going on that, when you broke your abstinence after 4 years with that person, like, how was that, like, mentally? Like, that has to, like, mentally play play games with your mind. Like, is it that you wanted more, or were you able to immediately
stop it more than one time? It wasn't a one-time thing. It happened a few more times.
Got you.
But when it happened, so it did make me feel good. It's like, oh, I still got it.
Right.
Oh,
right. You want to feel desirable.
Right.
Make sure that you
exactly
do what you do.
But the thing is, and I'm not afraid of my age. I'm 46 years old. I'm like, do I still supposed to be fucking like I'm 20? Like, do I still supposed to fuck like I'm 20? Am I 30?
You 14.
Okay. In the street, I be like, do I still supposed to be? And I be,
Wait, but sometimes you be late and just want to lay there and turn your back and be like,
yeah,
get a nap.
So, but I mean, I would say like when I am sexually active, I am very.
I get it.
Sexually active, like I have a whole nother alter ego. So this is.
So let me ask you.
Not her, somebody else.
Right. So let me ask you this. So
we are so off script.
Girl, it's okay. This how I do. So when you come from a state of like abstaining for that, because that's a good time.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say this. It's about to be like I had to count like damn,
you better count it.
Yeah, I mean, like I had to count because I think when I broke it that same year, that's when I got diagnosed, and sex was not on my mind. Of course. And it
healthy,
right, and beat it and all that, and there was some insecurities about myself.
I'm so glad that you did.
Thank you. So, like I'm just now getting to being confident, about myself and stuff all like that. So, yeah. So I one day I was counting. I was like, damn, it's like that again. Okay.
All right, so to all those eligible bachelors out there, if you would like to,
eligible,
put in your applications, hit me up at Leah@Sex.Love.Whiskey.com. I will go through those applications.
She will.
And trust me, I'll go through.
She will. Leah been knowing me for a long time. Leah ain't gonna let no scallywag.
And
trust me.
I don't even deal with them myself, so I wouldn't even put that on nobody else. But facts. I'm glad you shared that though. That's interesting. Okay, so you now you're a therapist and you've been abstinent. So, like, you have a very unique perspective on the situation because I ain't been abstinent.
And you should. Well,
Like, I'm just saying, yeah, never. Once I started, baby, it just kept going.
and I mean,
I was in relationships. I told with the whole thing. Like, y'all go back into the other deep dives of the episodes. Like, it was a whole situation where, like, I just was out here, not wilding out, sort of wilding out. I was still selective, but wilding out.
yeah, you was selective wilding out.
Yeah, I was trying to get my power back.
Right.
But I've been in a relationship for damn near 20 years, so.
So that's why I was like, what you gonna be asking for?
Baby, I bet not.
He's a good man, Savannah. A good man.
And can lay it down.
I'm just saying he's a good man. I don't know about that. Just let her tell you.
And can lay it down. I'm sorry, mama and brothers. And
they know.
Mama and Lyle, if you watching.
They know.
They do know about this.
They know who you are, so they not surprised.
Yeah. Anyway, let's continue. All right. So among men, the rate of voluntary celibacy, we're going to switch that word out with abstinence. Among men, the rate of voluntary abstinence was highest among those who were 18 to 24. 17%, right? Which is very surprising for me for them to be that young. But this is a whole new generation, baby.
Right.
This is a whole new generation. They got robots they can do. They got like all this porn and they got all of this like virtual reality stuff. So like, while it's shocking, it's not surprising because they have so much other access and so many other things that they can be doing, right? But for women, the highest rates of voluntary abstinence was among those between 55 and 64. 21%. Y'all, 21% of women between the ages of 55 and 64 were voluntary celibate. And 65 plus is 32%. Now, this says voluntary.
But you know what?
I bet their husbands was dead.
Not even just that, but
that's death.
And a lot of times women done that are women who have had a lot of children. And now they want to be celibate. It's kind of like
they're trying to tighten their thing.
Yeah, like what Kevin Samuels was like, now you got 3 kids and you ain't, now you trying to be celibate, like what the hell? So I mean, I'm not knocking it, but usually women that of that age that do that normally is because they have children, not a child, but multiple children, and possibly have never been there. And that's not a dig.
Right.
That's just stating facts.
Right.
So.
And I also wonder if it's like in that age group, would you all say starting at 55? Because I do have a lot of viewers and a lot of people that listen to me that's at that age. And you know, y'all, I love y'all. This ain't nothing. And I know y'all going fine anytime, y'all. But it is at that age if they are single. Because you can't be talking about married people and you can't be talking about people that's in a serious relationship. I just refuse to believe that shit right there.
No, I'm agreeing with you. No.
I refuse to believe that shit.
No, so let me say this. So even though we're not talking about celibacy, but I'm going to bring this up. When people dating celibate or dating abstinent, the
get it together.
And they're dating, you can date while you're celibate or abstinent, but the other person
has to be okay with it.
No, not okay with it. They have to already be living their life.
Well, you sure right. Or else they cheating.
They are like for me, like when people say, you know, if okay, just say if I chose, because I didn't choose this life, but I chose to be abstinent. I'm not being abstinent till I'm not giving it or celibate till I get married, and I meet a guy. It's not right for me to say, well, if I meet a guy, he's not celibate, and he don't want to be me, like, oh, he wants this, like, well, this is lifestyle. If this is important to him, then sex is important to him.
I get it.
So I need to date somebody that's already living their life. Like for me, like I said, I'm in remission of thyroid cancer. I won't date somebody that's a smoker because I can't be around smoke. But if I meet a guy and he tells me a smoker, I'm not gonna date him because he's like, well, no, I'm not gonna smoke. No, because that's a part of your life.
Right.
If you're gonna change, it needs because that's what you want to do, not because you're dating me, because you're gonna sneak off and do it. So if you're trying to date abstinent, I'm not trying to date abstinent. Let's be clear. I just got too much going on in my life for the wrong person to say, yeah, fuck, no, you didn't. No. So if I'm dating abstinent, I would have to, if you're dating abstinence, you need to date somebody that's living the same lifestyle. Like, yeah, I'm abstinent too, I'm celibate too. But if you meet somebody like, well, no, I ain't abstinent, but for you, I will. No.
Right.
No.
No, that makes sense.
Because they're doing it for the wrong reason. They need to be doing it for themselves, or they need to already be doing it. But I'm going to tell you this, a real talk. It's a good ass straight. I needed this. But when you're dating and when you're I don't mean no harm, usually that's how some of these marriages happen so quickly. So they can go ahead and have sex.
Word. You said a whole word right there, baby. Because I promise you, they go from dating to engaged in like 3 months, and then they get married.
Just so they can have sex.
Girl, just fuck. We ain't in the 1920s. Believe what you want to believe, have the morals and standards that you want to have, but I need a test drive. And I say it all the time because, think about it. I'm just thinking practically, people. I am not trying to get stuck with somebody that's got bad sex. Or we just not sexually compatible.
Yeah.
Because that's a thing, right? Like, you gonna have all the chemistry in the world and it's building up. To me, the build up makes it worse. Because you get higher expectations as it build up. Have you ever been with somebody where like it was just a real hot sexual energy between you two, and like it's the innuendos, it's the grazing of the skin, it's the kissing, and it's like, oh, this gonna be fire. And then you have sex and it's trash. Girl, because I have, according to her face,
the computer one froze.
According to her face, she has too. But what I'm saying,
Another reason why I let somebody come around back, because, hey, I know what you got. I know. So, yes.
Listen,
I know what it is. So
applications are open.
But
Leah at Sex.Love.Whiskey.com. Send me emails.
Send your resume.
I'm saying this because
I'm sorry.
it can be really hard to have that build up, and like you don't have sex or you don't explore, and then you get married. Like now you stuck in like this situation where it's way more than just being like boyfriend, girlfriend, like you married.
Right. Yeah. And you know what? I'm going to tell you something.
It's trash.
So I used to watch Sex in the City in my 20s.
Obviously, because you said Sex in the City thing.
Right. So I started back watching again in my 40s.
Mm-hmm.
And did you watch Sex in the City?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
I know what you're talking about, but I didn't watch it.
Okay, so there was an episode with a season with Charlotte and the doctor that she married.
Okay.
And they were not sexually compatible.
Mm.
And she found out because she waited. She wanted to wait till they got married, but she ended up attempting to have sex with him the day before he was married. But then there was some other stuff where she was more focused on having a baby than just, let's just enjoy being married and let things happen. But yeah, and I was just like, yeah, that's why the shit didn't work.
Because, listen, I'm here for it. Like you a firm believer in this, your religious ideas and your morals and your values, like stand on that shit, like 10 toes down. I am here for it. This is a judgment-free zone. I say that all the time.
Definitely.
Like, do you, because I'm definitely going to do me. So, do you. Yeah, she drank it all, y'all, so it must be real good. But anyway, do you. But what I'm saying is, for me, in life, we test drive everything.
Before
we get a car, we test drive this shit, right? We out in the hood. Before we buy houses, we go on open houses and we look at houses. Before we get a
Let me tell you something.
try that bitch on.
That's one thing I hate about buying clothes online.
Because you can't try it on.
Because you can't try it on. And just imagine you buy it, you get it, and it don't fit.
All that hype.
I'm
talking to you, Sheen.
You either
all that damn hype. You see the damn clothes on the models and they look real good. And you be like, oh, that's going to look good on me. And then you get home and it look trash.
right. So you either going to do three things. You're either going to return it, which takes a lot of effort to do.
Don't nobody return it.
Or you going to, I return stuff. If it's online. Or you going to give it to somebody else.
Correct.
Or you just going to keep it.
And just leave it.
And you just leave it there,
Yes.
hoping that you will lose weight for it to fit. But yeah, so it's the same thing. Like,
yeah, like that. We are a society of like, let's try it before we buy it type of situation. Even makeup. Like, you got situations now where you try your makeup or you try your clothes. Like some clothing places have it where specifically ones that are like specifically picked out for you, like your stylist, like websites or whatever. You try it before you buy it, right? To make sure that it fits you and it meets your needs.
And that you like it.
And that you like it. So if I'm going to try out a car, I'm going to try out my house, I'm going to try out my clothes, I'm going to try out my makeup, I'm going to do, baby, that's the thing, that's the whole social media thing. People dancing and driving like it's hot and doing flips and heels to make sure they can do it.
I've done that before.
I'm sure you have.
I wanted to make sure I can run in them. I was younger. I had bought some shoes. I was like, I gotta make sure I can run.
Fast. If I can try all these things out, I need to try hair colors. Like, it's filters. I can try hair colors. I can try tattoos out. I can try all kinds of, girl, yeah, because all you gotta do is like get the little app and put what you want and put it wherever you want it to see it fit. Girl, okay. We'll talk about that later.
Okay.
So, if I can try all of these things, my brain don't work the way of where I can try men out. Because if I'm going to commit to you, because I talk a lot of shit. Like, that's who I am. I talk a lot of shit. I mean that shit too. But I talk a lot and I got hands, so I back it up. Ask about me. So, like, I talk a lot of shit and I mean it. But honestly, I'm very traditional when it comes to certain things.
Yeah, she is.
And when it comes to like relationships and marriage, I am very, very traditional in certain ways, but other ways I'm not. So what I mean by that is, if I make a commitment to marry you, even though I have been married, and I know y'all trying to come for me like, Lynn, you're divorced, you've been married for. Well, I tried to make that shit work. I did everything that I possibly could in my power so I could honestly, with like no remorse, be like, I tried.
I can't get you, but man.
Girl, yeah, me too. I tried everything I possibly could because I didn't want to become a statistic. I had a baby, like, and I didn't want to get divorced. Even though I was super young, I was 19 when I got married. I believe in that shit. Like, I believe in marriage, right? So if I'm going to make that commitment to you, to be married to a man, I take that shit seriously.
Oh, yeah. Right.
So if I'm not, baby, I'm going to try you out. Because what you not going to do is lock me into some trash sex. It just ain't going to happen.
Yeah.
And I don't care what people say. Sex is a big part of relationships. It's a big part of marriages. And it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be. Because we were put on this earth to procreate. Yeah. We were put on this earth to multiply, right? That's what we were put on here to do. But if it feels like a chore, baby, I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah.
If you touching me creeps me out, baby, I'm not gonna do it. If you can't one in every fool make me come, I'm being dead ass Brandy. I'm being dead ass there. I gave it a lot. I said 1 in 4. And I'm lying because then I don't even get that many chances. But I'm just saying, 1 in 4. What we doing? Because let's just think about it scientifically. We all lost celibacy, but I don't even care. Scientifically speaking, if you want to procreate and have children and have kids and stuff, right? Like, it's scientifically proven that if both of you orgasm at the same time, it pushes them little shooters up your love. You know what I'm saying? Because your uterus is contracting and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it pushes them jump up there. So we have a better chance of like creating and procreating. And like, honestly, that's what sex is for. Like, anything that's an animal like procreates. Like, that's what it's for.
Yeah.
It's okay fighting your primal urges, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, because at the end of the day, the animals, right? We here to procreate. Like, our bodies tell us, you need to procreate. You need to have sex. We are the only beings that have sex for, like, cats.
Except for the bonobos, there are some monkeys. There are species of monkeys. Oh, they be fucking just to be fucking.
Okay, well, teach me something.
Yeah.
Because humans be fucking.
And they do some shit.
And I believe it, too, baby.
Yeah, when I taught psychology, I thought my class was the love that like the teach us tell about the bonobos. Yeah, they are a group of monkeys that they had threesomes, they did oral, even some homosexual acts. So
okay,
yeah.
See, we ought to come back and do another episode on that shit. But what I'm saying is, it's us. You so serious. It is in us to have sex and like to have those urges. So what I'm saying is, there's no way that I'm going to commit my life. Even commit my life to someone that I do not know that I am sexually compatible with, or that he feels he is sexually compatible with me. Because it could be one way.
All right.
You can think it was the best sex in the world, and then your partner's like, nah, whoa, damn, slow. Like, whoa, it wasn't all that.
Yeah. And I think with sex, even, because there may be some times where you may not be on the same wavelength, and it goes with communicating. You know, we have to be honest about, you know, what we like, what we don't like.
100%.
Yeah, you have to communicate. Like, sex is actually a form of communication.
100%, baby. Let your body talk.
So
that's what Tyrese said, baby.
Yeah.
Talk to me.
Yeah. So we have to communicate, and yeah, and I will say that a lot of women, well, not this one, but there are some women that will put up with bad sex because of they love their person. Like, sex is not to say it's not important, but the love that they have for their person,
correct,
is more than the sex.
Correct.
Not
but they still be frustrated.
Yeah, they still be frustrated.
Now, you was transparent. I'll be transparent. So I did have this one relationship. It wasn't even a relationship. It was a situationship. I was obsessed with the dude. I talked about him often, and what's up, boo? Anyway.
I thought you were about to say his name.
I was, but I stopped myself.
Thank you.
Hell, I might still say it.
Don't do that. Give him a code name.
He know who he.
I mean, of course he does.
I didn't say his name before. So if you go back, you will know who I'm talking about. I was obsessed with this man for years. From like he in my book and everything. From the time I was like in 6th grade, shit, into the relationship with Eric, and into a year or two with Eric. And Eric knows, so this ain't no surprise because we communicate, baby. But I was just so obsessed with him and so obsessed with the idea of like, oh, we would be so good together. And like, he just, you know what I'm saying? He just one of them people who was like doing, like, I don't know what it was. Like, he just was my person, I thought, in my brain. But we fucked several times. It wasn't really all that great, though.
I had somebody like that.
It wasn't because of him, or it wasn't because of me. It just, we wasn't compatible. You know what I'm saying? Like, sexually compatible. I'm going to say, the thing was swinging. I mean,
just because you have a big pencil don't mean does not mean you know how to write your name.
I'd rather have a medium size with some girth that be hitting the walls than a long and skinny one that be hitting the back. Any day. It hit my walls. But ladies, you have to have walls for it to hit. But that's a whole nother topic. We so off topic. What I'm saying is that you can pump yourself up and you can be so emotionally attached to somebody, and you can be like so drawn to somebody that like, even if it's not good, it's like, okay, I'm gonna work through it because it's gonna be better.
I've done that.
You can definitely do that, but what I'm saying is,
love will make you do some things,
baby.
Even though your situation wasn't love.
I thought I loved him though.
But okay,
real talk. Like at the time, like I thought I was in love with him. I will say that, but I didn't really learn the true meaning of love till later. But like, I thought I was in love with him. I thought I was in love with him for years. And it will little cloud your judgment. And it's gonna make you go through things. You know what I'm saying? Including some bad sexual activity.
Right.
But all of that to say, let's get back to this celibacy.
But you know what I'm gonna say, and so let me say this. That's why abstaining or not getting any or whatever, it's not always bad, because you're able to your vision is not cloudy. Like, you're able to see things, you're able to see the red flags sooner,
right,
and deal with it. And you know, and when I say deal with them, meaning not deal with them like, no, let me cut this off,
right,
you know, real quick. Because, you know, when you do have sex with somebody, whether it's consistent, good, you know, it can cloud your judgment. But when you have, I would say for me,
when it's good, it can cloud you.
it can. But I would say for me, my tolerance for the bullshit that men will give,
it's thin.
It's very thin. It is. And it's like, again, when I do, I ain't gonna say if, when I do
That's right, baby.
be with somebody and I'm being intimate, relationship wise, intimate wise, like, not only were you worth interrupting what I have going on, but are you even worth me not being, you know, stopping this path that I'm on? Because I'm good. You know, would I like to be in an intimate relationship? Of course.
Right.
I would. But am I out here looking for it? I'm not.
Right.
You know, when it's supposed to happen,
that makes sense.
It will happen.
That makes sense. Like, going back to the beginning, when I was talking about the statistics and stuff that people was doing research on, that was one of the things that they were saying, that they people who have abstained from sex are like they have more clarity, and they're able to like focus more than they would or they feel like if they were having sex with somebody. So that 100% makes sense. Let's explore, before we close out, let's explore some of the reasons behind abstinence, right? So we've mentioned a couple. It's just, in your case, you just not in a serious relationship.
I'm not in a relationship, period.
Trying to like just give your goodies out like that.
Because, you know, when you right, it's like when you get to, so with me, I don't like to say public figure, but people know who I am, what I do. I have to be real particular of who.
Right.
I'm particular about who I let be my friend.
Right.
So I got to be particular who I date. I got to be particular who I sleep with. It's like, whoever I sleep with, honestly, you have to have something to lose.
Facts. Say that. Repeat that.
You have to deal with me. You have to have something to lose, because I have a lot to lose. So what I mean by that, when you deal with somebody that has nothing to lose, they are very reckless. My name is too good out here. I do too much publicly for just somebody to be reckless and to do things. And then people don't always be honest. You know, what if I meet a guy, we cool, we hanging out, we sleep with each other, and I kind of find out you married.
Right. Now you look bad.
Now I'm the home wrecker.
Right. Right. So equally yoked.
Yeah,
like this.
Equally.
To be
equally, y'all.
Be a whole lot more.
Exactly. I need you to be the cage-free yolk, coming from the good chicken.
Right. They just roam.
They roam and eating the good grass that they don't have the pesticides.
I swear.
So yeah.
So we need to be equally yoked.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Right.
So some more reasons that people like abstain that has been on social and have been in my research and just asking people. So let's explore the idea of like this gaming and social media situation, which I don't think we will understand that much because, okay, I'm 40.
I'm 46.
46, as she said previously, we come from a different age. Like, social media really boomed when we was grown.
Yeah. Really grown.
Age and
Yeah.
grown, right?
Yeah.
It's been social media, and gaming was never a thing when we was younger. Like
He might play, the basketball, 2K.
correct.
It was so out there, but
In the sense where like that's what they do.
I mean, that's how they do all day. Yeah.
Like they do that to make money.
Yeah.
Part of who they are. So like they're saying that gaming and social media is a growing trend in like abstinent people who choose to be abstinent, right? This is not involuntary. This is voluntary abstinence. It took me a long time to try to wrap my brain around it, that you are so involved in social media, that you are so involved in gaming, that you don't satisfy yourself. But I think that's going to be hard for me. I'm speaking for me. That's going to be hard for me to understand because I haven't grown up in this age. It is between the kids ages 18 to 24.
But I also think not only to engage sexually, but they lack social interaction.
Now that's it. That's
so
the word.
They're in their room, so the closest social interaction they have is somebody else that's virtual.
Correct.
So they lack social skills.
100%. They don't even know how to match on each other.
Right.
They don't know how to entice somebody. They don't know how to see people in real life and engage in conversation. They are to sit across from them at a table. They supposed to be out and they will text each other rather than have a conversation.
They lack social intelligence.
100%. So that's probably what I'm with you on that one. It's social skills and social intelligence. Yeah. For that reason.
Yeah.
So then it has like this growing trend of delaying adulthood. Now, when I read that and I looked into it, it kind of correlates with the former. And it's basically adolescents and young adults are staying home more. They are not getting out and like trying to create lives on their own because their parents have made it comfortable.
I was just about to say that.
Or they are just comfortable in their settings. And again, they lack social skills in order to be able to do that. So having sex or having sexual relationships is like too grown for them. So they don't think of themselves as adults. Whereas I was 16 and swore I was grown.
But you know what? I also think that's part of the parents also. Because of the parents not allowing the child to not keep them as a child, not allowing them to grow up.
Correct. And not pushing them.
Yeah, not pushing them. Yeah, but exactly,
right,
exactly. Or you just trying to keep them in,
right?
For whatever reason you may do, and honestly, you're doing more harm.
You are
than helping them.
And Lord knows I be trying to push my child out there. I push my child in these streets, baby. Please go do something.
Yeah,
don't be up on your mama. Because I need you to be a whole grown man. Yeah. And I need you to know how to be a whole grown man. And not rely on mama and not rely on no female to help you or do anything. Please go out here in these streets. I'm that person. Go fail. Go do wrong things. Because while you are a child and while you are not completely grown, I am your safety net. So please go out there and do it.
And honestly, this is the time for him to do that.
The next one that was the biggest thing was more sexual identity. Now, I'm not finna get into it because I do not want the LGBTQ RSTUV community. I love y'all. Like, I got best friends. Like, I love y'all. Y'all know I ain't got no problems back to do you love who you want to love in my Ray J voice. You know what I'm saying? I done dabbled in the rainbow, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, I ain't got no problems. But I don't really even think it. Sure, that's a whole nother topic, baby. Anyway, I mean, it's got to be a bad bitch. But anyway, we'll talk about that later, okay? Don't slide in my DMs, though. Well, maybe slide in my DMs. Anyway, it really don't have anything to do with that, but it's like, we live in a society now where people can really express themselves, and it is embraced, which is a beautiful thing. I am 100% here for it. Like, 100%, 100% here for it.
Good.
But also there are different types of sexualities that are coming out, and specifically when I was doing this research, they're talking about asexuality, right? Honestly, I am not even gonna lie, y'all know I'll keep it 100. I keep it a buck on here. When I heard asexual, I think of plants.
Well, asexual is okay. Did you ever watch?
I think of plants, Brandy.
No. Did you ever watch Big Bang Theory?
Yes.
Sheldon. Before Sheldon got with Amy,
right?
Sheldon was asexual. Sheldon didn't like anybody,
but Sheldon got with Amy though.
I said before. Haven't you met straight people that turned?
Listen.
So, but that's what I'm saying. So before he got with Amy, he was what you consider to be asexual, meaning they don't like anybody. They're not attracted to anybody.
They don't have a desire.
They don't have a desire. And I'm gonna tell you this, something that I've learned. I've learned that a lot of people that are asexual are really gay, but they don't want to live that lifestyle. So instead of living the lifestyle of being gay, they choose to be asexual because they don't.
Real hard not to say something right now.
Okay.
I will tell you.
That's what I've been told. That's what I've been told.
I will tell you off camera.
Okay, what's that?
I'm not gonna do it because I'm gonna do it too.
Well, tell me off camera. But I'm just saying that there's some people that, not saying all, but there are some people who fight with their identity, or especially those who are of the cloth that
not the closet, baby.
They choose to live an asexual life.
Correct. So that's a new thing. That's a relatively new idea, concept, especially for it being accepted.
Right.
Right. So yeah, that's new to me. That's foreign to me. But hey, that's a good topic. So if you consider yourself asexual, please hit me up in the DMs or message me at Leah@Sex.Love.Whiskey because I love to talk to you about it. Like for real time. But anyway, and also in that asexuality, y'all, have y'all heard this like growing group and trend of being furries? You know what I'm talking about? Girl. Listen, my son put me on the furries. And when we went to Japan, I witnessed furries in like real life.
I've heard of it, but what? So educate me about what this is.
My understanding, I'm not an expert, so y'all don't come for me, okay? But from my understanding, like furries is told that when people self-identify as an animal.
Oh yeah,
I'm a fox.
Yeah,
I'm a wolf. Or I'm a whatever, and in a lot of instances, they dress that way.
Yeah.
They dress like an animal. They'll howl. They'll make like certain movements. Girl.
I've heard of something like that.
If being a fox make you have to be a fucking fox, be the baddest fox you can possibly fucking be.
Foxy Vine.
Like, I'm here for it. You know what I'm saying? But I think that contributes to, again, with this younger generation that we have, because they have all it. I think they have too many options. I think they have too much that they can just say and be like, I identify as this. Baby, I have money. Address me as such. You know what I'm saying? Like, anyway, baby, I'm going to get out there because they're going to cancel me and I don't need to be canceled. I love y'all. But anyway. So, also another reason for abstinence has been that women don't orgasm. Right? So, women don't orgasm, so why bother? Why bother having sex?
So the thing with women don't orgasm, I'm gonna tell you guys what you probably don't know. You not being in orgasm is not the man. It's you, because you don't know your body.
Oh, preach.
So and that comes with self-pleasuring and masturbating. Once you know what your spot is and how it makes you feel, so when you become intimate, you're able to guide the guy where to go.
That's the key.
Yeah.
That's the key. Because a lot of women do know what makes them orgasm, and they do know how to self-pleasure. The disconnect comes from they don't communicate.
Yeah.
They don't have open communication with their partners because they're afraid. And like, I would say these guys, and I know y'all, I love y'all, but a lot of men have fragile egos, right? So they don't want to accept that a woman is telling them what they need to do. They just want to do what they want to do, right?
And that is true. That is true.
So that's where that comes from. But I'm agreeing with you 100%. If you don't orgasm during sex, it's because you don't know your body.
Yeah.
And you don't know how to tell and communicate to somebody else how to make you come. Now, here's the thing. And I'm finna get real in my business, and that's okay. Because like I said, we've been in a relationship for 20 years, baby. It is what it is. I'm finna get real in my business. Now, did I orgasm 100%? Did I have orgasm with my man? Now, hell to the mother now. No. Anyway, and I'm talking about multiple orgasms. I thought that shit was a myth. Like multiple upon multiple and back to back to back to back orgasms. Like, I thought there was some porno fake stuff.
Yeah.
So like a myth. It's not a myth, ladies. It's not a myth, y'all. DM me, I'll give y'all some cool some information. Fellas, DM me, I'll give y'all some information. But I say all this because if you don't have like open, I'm an advocate of open communication. If you can't communicate with the person that you are with and intimately with what you with them for, I don't care if the sex is good, you still need to be able to communicate with that person, because you can have a real relationship and a healthy relationship without having open communication.
Right.
So, like, I say all of this because I thought I was having some good orgasms, baby. It was like, baby, no, you ain't. Let me show you something. So, me, baby, we had something called a crank. We'll talk about that later.
Don't put that man
Girl,
there like that.
girl, it's okay. This is something that can help some people.
Okay, well, if you're helping people.
Listen, if y'all want to know what the crank is, drop them comments below and I'll do it.
Hey, what's the crank?
Right.
I'm gonna do a video.
Not showing.
Oh, well, it's the only thing. It's right there.
Yeah, you might be on the stuff.
Oh, Lord.
Big.
Oh, Lord.
I will tell y'all about the crank, but all of that to say, like, you definitely have to be in communication. And honestly, people, it boils down to it. Good sex and having orgasms. You can't be uptight. You cannot be stressed out. You have to trust your partner. And part of trusting your partner comes from communication.
Right.
And like feeling safe with that person.
Right.
Because, listen, you can know your body. You can tell your person your body. They can do all the things that you done told them to do. But if you honestly, like, don't get into that person and, like, you don't trust that person, it's hard for you to orgasm.
Right. And you have to be comfortable, but in order to be comfortable with your partner, you have to be comfortable with yourself.
Facts. Speak on.
It's like I'm an advocate for knowing your body.
Oh, 100%.
Because once you know your body and honestly practice it with yourself of being comfortable. So when you being comfortable with yourself and you like that feeling of you being comfortable with yourself, then when you're with your mate, you want to relive that moment.
So women don't orgasm and why bother have sex? The power of choice, right? Which I am all here for, women choosing who, what, when, where, and how they have sex. Like, that's what you're supposed to do. Because I also talked about that in the previous episode where, like, men think they out here choosing sex. Absolutely not. Women choose when, where, and how they have sex.
Right.
The way that they go is if you rape them. I'm just being real. The only reason. Because we know within 2 minutes of seeing you walk, baby. Let me tell you that. A woman knows by the way that you walk if I'm finna do you. Now, you can talk yourself out of it.
Yeah.
But I know by the way you walk in the room. Oh, yeah.
If you walk in the room and the woman do this.
Facts. Get all tingly. Oh, if I straighten up.
All right. Like she
Baby.
hold up, man.
Already.
Fellas, let me tell you something. If she do that, be careful what come out your mouth.
Focus. Because you can also talk yourself out of it. Now, that's what you want to... Baby, you see the cues that she into, don't talk yourself out of it. Just ask questions. And then follow up with comment.
Yeah.
Because you can talk yourself
Talk yourself out of it.
out of it. But anyway, that's for another episode. But anyway. And so hustle culture is another reason why they say that people are abstaining now. Because they're so focused on business and so focused on... They think they're supposed to be where everybody is because of this social media race.
Yeah.
It's a great thing, but it can also be a negative.
It can.
Right? Especially when it comes to relationships and self-esteem in general. Because a lot of us, we like compare ourselves to people on social media, not knowing that that's fake. It's a facade.
We need to stop.
We really do.
Need to stop. Like so let me be honest. So there's a a therapist that she's been circulating nationally and stuff all like that. And I be watching, I be like, damn, like, how she get on and I ain't there yet. But then I really looked at her and I was like, I don't want that.
Right.
So, I mean, kudos to you, and we all do that. We compare like, damn, what they doing?
Right.
What I ain't doing. But then when you really just start paying attention, you really look at people. I was like,
and a lot of times,
nah, I'm good.
that they not even living the life that they're portraying that they living. Their camera be on and it looks great. And
Yeah.
the camera, they getting their ass whooped. They getting drugged down through their
Exactly.
The house that they in ain't their house. They renting the car that they in ain't their car. They renting the repo man coming to get it. They can't even eat groceries. That's why they lost all their weight. You know what I'm saying? That's why they real cute or they good Ozempic diet. You know what I'm saying? Like one of them, babe, I'm scared of Ozempic, but that's a whole different little story, babe, because I would like shoot myself because like, I could stand a little cold way. But I'm not going to do those.
Shout out to Celibacy. I was pre-diabetic though, so hey.
That's all I'm saying. Like, I can see that. Yeah. The hustle culture, especially with women. I think the hustle culture with women is stronger than it is with men.
Right.
Because women are like the highest growing rate of entrepreneurs and business.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And so, like, we have a tendency to, like, try to get out there and provide for ourselves to make sure that we good, to make sure our kids are good, to make sure our family is good. Not saying that men don't, but it's just, like, a higher level at this point, the way the society is moving. So, like, we feel that we have to hustle. And, like, a lot of times social media and watching other people, they make you feel like you have to work 24/7. There's no days off. Like, how many times do you see that?
A team no sleep.
Hey, girl, I sleep. When I tell you I be sleeping 12 hours, do not call me before 10 a.m., bitch, because I am not answering. When I tell you I'm taking days off because I need a mental break.
Yeah.
So, like, hustle culture makes you think that you have to be go all the time. And I can see where you cannot make space for relationships and not make space for that type of intimacy.
And let me say something.
Unimportant.
And that's the thing. We really need to learn what hustling is.
Mm-hmm.
Hustling is you just trying to get that bag. But are you trying to get stability?
Correct. I can understand how that can lead to involuntary.
Oh, yeah.
Like abstinence, because you're so focused on your career and you're so focused on getting ahead and like establishing yourself. I want a house. I want, to be at this position in my career before I settle down. Like, I can get that, and no knocks for people who think that or feel that way, but I can understand how that can lead.
Yeah, I can't.
So, like, voluntary abstinence. So, religious beliefs. That's definitely
that's yeah.
Celibacy.
Yeah, for actual
celibacy.
But so let me say this. I really wish that these religious beliefs, I'm not knocking the religious beliefs, but I really wish that it was on men as much as it is on women. Like, you giving these girls these purity rings, these purity balls. You talk bad, you make women feel ashamed, but you don't say anything to the men. But I'm going to tell you something. That goes. So let me say this. I love the Lord. He heard my cry. But it's even in the Bible. It's just certain things that I've heard in the Bible about sex and sexual assaults and stuff all like that. And I'm like,
he destroyed whole cities for being heathens and doing nothing.
Yeah.
Like Gomorrah, Sodom and Gomorrah. Hello, somebody. Y'all need to reach out about for real, because that was nothing but a whole bunch of orgies.
That's all it was. So if that's your religious belief, that's fine. I'm not going to knock you, but I don't like it when it's just only to women. Well, what are you saying to the men?
Right. What the old country folks say was good for the goose is good for the gander. Right. And my thing is, and I say that, if you cool doing and high-fiving this okay culture for men to have sex with to have a lot of sex, who do you think they fucking?
Well,
if they suck, I mean, they could be fucking her.
I mean this.
But I'm just saying, like, let's just say,
and if you are, it's fine.
100%. But I'm saying, in the heterosexual world, and we talking about religion because it's gonna be heterosexual, right? Even though we do know homosexuality existed and has always existed, but we're not gonna go there either. But what I'm saying is, who do you think the man fucking? y'all okay with them fucking, but who do you think they like?
Exactly.
But if I step up and say, I wanted the women that they was fucking, now I'm a hoe. Why is that? But I'll go to episode 1 of Sex.Love.Whiskey. I talk about that, okay? Free spirit, like, go back and watch first episode. But anyway, so medical restraints, medical reasons. You touched on it.
Yeah.
Knowingly.
Yeah.
About your situation with thyroid.
Yeah.
And like sometimes for medical reasons, you can't indulge in sex. It's not even like top of mind because you're too busy trying to be hit.
Right. I mean, when I got diagnosed with cancer,
trying to live.
dick was the last thing on my mind.
I keep beating this up like it's something.
Right. It was the last thing on my mind. And just with, and just when you talk about medical, even with your mental health, if you know your mental health is not good, you know, yeah, but especially with medical, and sometimes women do have medical issues with their reproductive area.
100%.
You know, they may have fibroids and endometriosis or whatever, and it becomes painful.
It does.
Or whatever like this. So they was like, you know what, your dick ain't that good for me to for the pain that I am getting.
Bring.
And also with men too.
Oh yeah. It could be things going on with their prostate.
Yeah.
It could be things. It could just be shame of their penis being real small, and they think that they can't have sex with satisfied women. When actually you can. Like me, let me tell y'all this. You'd be surprised how many women really don't care about the size of your penis. Like, it's like, when they say it's not the size of the boat, it's the motion in the ocean, that is the truth.
It's how well you write your name.
What you say, there's other ways for you to please mamas, but that's a whole nother situation. But what I was going to go on with medical restraints, let me say, this is personal. But what they don't tell you is, because I couldn't be on birth control for the longest because it made me violently ill. Like, the lowest dose, like, I would puke, I would have the worst headaches, my blood pressure would spike, like, I had the worst problems with birth control. I did not actively go on birth control until I was like 35 years old. Like, dead ass. Because I couldn't take it. Because it made me so ill. I was like violently ill, shaking, can't focus, violently ill until like they did something and like I could take the lowest dose, but I had to take the lowest dose because those extra hormones don't work with my body well.
Oh wow.
It still doesn't. And like I think that need to be a topic because we don't talk about the adverse effects that birth control has on women and their bodies because we introducing all these extra hormones that's not supposed to be in your body in the first place, right? I bring this up because one of the things, and I had to talk to my doctor, shout out to Dr. Terry Lee Foster. What's up? I was talking to my doctor because I'm like, baby, I am a sexual being, but when I started taking these birth control pills, I know why you don't get pregnant because you don't be wanting to have sex. Like, why don't nobody talk about that? Like, that's not necessarily a medical condition, but it is a medical restriction.
Yeah.
Because it's a catch-22. If you're sexually active, you told to take, birth control pills to be responsible so you don't have a pregnancy.
Yeah.
But honestly, the only when I started taking it, it wasn't because, baby, I learned the game of pull out and like how to not.
Don't do what Leah do. That only works for Leah.
It works for me. But what I'm saying is the only reason why I did it is because I have endometriosis and my periods were horrible.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Pain, shaking, the same thing. I'm talking about shaking, throwing up, like lasting for 7-8 days because that's how my body was built.
Yeah.
And unfortunate, like having to walk around with extra pairs of clothes and stuff in your purse because you don't bleed through it. Like I know there's a whole lot for y'all. Y'all didn't come here.
But it's true.
But yes. So the only reason why I went to the doctor to get on, she was like, you have to get on birth control pills because it can help you with it. It can help your endometriosis. It can help regulate, and it does. Oh God, it does. It helps regulate that. But the side effect is you're not as sexually aroused or want it as much as you would because of those extra hormones. And people don't talk about how that plays a part in like your sexual activity and your relationship because it definitely had issues I dealt with. You know what I'm saying? And so, while that's not, quote, a medical condition, but it kind of is.
Yeah, it is a medical condition. It's a.
You put in your body.
So let me say this: it is a medical condition. It just may not be in the ICD-10 or whatever number they on book for a diagnosis.
Right.
But it is a condition that also, let's be honest, as women, a lot of stuff that we go through, they don't talk about it.
Facts. That is definitely true. But anyway, we have talked y'all's ear off. We have talked about celibacy. We have talked
And other stuff.
We have talked about all kinds of shit that wasn't on the agenda.
It was not.
But that's what we're here for. It's Sex.Love.Whiskey, as always. So we have to be careful when it comes to following social trends, right? We also need to make sure that we are using the correct terminology when dictating or advocating on our own behalf.
We do.
Now, as it relates to practicing abstinence, I feel that this is 100% a personal choice. You may need to sit down and think about the reasons behind choosing this lifestyle and make sure that you're doing it out of your own fruition for reasons that help benefit you and not because it's a trend and because you thought it would be something fun to post about on social media. We have seen and we have heard that practicing abstinence can promote healthier lifestyles. It can also make people have an overall better attitude, happier in the day-to-day life. It can bring positive change if one is doing it correctly. Abstinence may also not be a choice in some people's lives, meaning if you just haven't had a good relationship, if you haven't been outside because you inside all day, you're inside social because you work from home, you don't really get out. Maybe abstinence was forced upon you. Maybe nobody is checking for you. Let's be real. Like, maybe you think too much of yourself. There ain't nobody checking for you, baby. I'm just playing. But anyway, embarrassing saying those words, you have chosen to become abstinent, right? If that's the case, why? This episode is merely me trying to draw attention to, number one, the fads that they go across social media that people pick up on and really don't understand the meaning behind, right? How fast we are to jump on trends and jump on people's statuses and say, oh, well, this person is doing it, so that I'm going to do it, right? And we push these movements not knowing exactly the consequences or how it's going to, affect other people, not just yourself. Obviously, most of the people, 98% of the people on social media advocating for celibacy or declaring themselves celibate do not mean the true definition of celibacy, right? They simply mean that they are abstaining from sex for a period of time until they deem necessary, right? They have a partner that is worthy, right? There's nothing wrong with that. That is not celibacy, though. Celibacy is a vow, right?
Yeah.
It's voluntary. The most religious is mostly religious, right? They said I be abstaining permanently from marriage and from sex. So let's remember that definition,
All right.
when we're talking about it, because it's important to use the right words and it's important to use the right terminology so people won't jump onto something they truly don't mean and truly don't understand, right?
All right.
Abstinence is voluntary. Let's put that out there for one reason or the other. So, people, unless you are trying to devote your life as a fucking monk, a priest, a nun, and they be getting it anyway, but we ain't gonna talk about that. As some type of religious being, you are abstinent, not celibate, right? Society or religious organizations that say, hey, I'm no longer trying to get married. I'm no longer going to have any type of sexual relationships with my damn self. Let's include that in there. Because when you're celibate, you don't even have sexual relationship with your damn self. Right? Baby, you abstinent, not celibate. All right. And kudos to you. Because that takes a lot of self-restraint, baby, that I just don't get. All right? I hope it works out for you, and I wish you the best. If you or someone you know is celibate, legitimately, or is practicing abstinence from sex, I would love to hear from you. I'd love to hear your personal case, your personal reasoning for going through it. I didn't know I was going to get my own personal story, and I appreciate it. But make sure you drop us a line, send me an email, let me know what you think about the episode, and we'll catch you next time on Sex, Love, Whiskey, the mixtape.
Y'all know what time it is. Coming up next week on Sex, Love, Whiskey.
There's an unspoken language that characterizes how we as human beings express and receive love. Understanding this language is key to any successful relationship, that being romantic or otherwise. It created confusion, right? So based off his experience, he narrowed down 5 ways that people generally express and receive love, hence 5 love languages. All right. Before y'all start and before y'all try to comfort me about, oh, I don't believe in it, you don't have to believe in it, baby. Oh, maybe you should. Now I know what you're thinking. I like multiple or all of these to some degree. And yeah, I bet we all do to a certain extent. But one of the 5 probably stuck out to you the most, and that's your love language. Now, gifting. The final love language is receiving gifts. Now, I'm not talking about no gold diggers. I'm not talking about folks out here that just need to receive all the Gucci and all the Louis and, you know, all the nails and get my hair did type of situation. That's not necessarily what I'm talking about, all right? So those with this as a primary love language feel most cared for by receiving gifts and cherish tangible symbols of love. I know that in order for me to feel a connection or intimacy with my man, I need to be touched. And I'm not talking about sexually. This is non-sexual touches throughout the day. Like, I like to be graced, or run up on and give a hug, or even just like little silly taps, or however, it doesn't even matter. Just touch me. Don't ignore me all day and then tap me on the shoulder in bed, because I ain't going. I'm going to have a headache and I'm going to have problems. Because you should have cuddled with me on the damn couch, right? I didn't understand how he showed love or how he wanted to receive it. I didn't even know that that was a thing. I didn't know that the way I show love may not be how he wanted to receive it, and the way that he gives it to me, I'm not recognizing it. Using and being committed to understanding your partner's love language encourages you to learn and to focus on their needs rather than your own. Now, don't expect that shit overnight. Like I was saying, this comes with time, effort, and patience on both sides. Learning to extend grace to your partner is important in the process. If they are actively trying, let that be a win.